Hey you, it's me. And I was watching Karina Kaboom today, and she had a pretty large portion of her video talking about Amber and her stalker. And the thing that I'd seen the video, I'd seen that part where she says, I have his name, his phone number, his address, and then she waves at him a little kiss, waves at him, gives him a little kiss, and says, hi, if you're out there, whatever she said. That's not what you do with a stalker. And Karina Kaboom really brought it to my attention, the seriousness of what she just did. I had a stalker. This was in the 80s, before they actually had any stalking laws. And I would call the police on a few different occasions, and they told me, well, if he stabs you or punches you or something, well, then give us a call. Otherwise, there's nothing we can do, which was frightening to hear. As a teenage girl who is being stalked by her ex-boyfriend, which was who was stalking me. The things that he would do would be just to show up randomly while I was with friends or maybe even on a date. He would just show up randomly and yell at me. The one time I was walking down the street with a friend who happened to be a guy, and he screeched to a halt and screamed at me to get in his car. At that point, I had had enough, and I said no, and his rage, his fury was palpable. It was incredible, but he got back in his car and drove off. Thank God he didn't get into any accidents that I know of. He could have really hurt someone, could have killed someone, killed himself even. But it was awful. The worst, though, was when I'd had a good day, and I get home, and I get a phone call from him. And in the phone call, he told me about everything I did that day and with whom I did it with. Everything. And that was honestly terrifying, because I didn't know that he saw any of that. I didn't know he was there. I don't know how he snuck around, but I never noticed him. And to know that somebody is watching you, looking at everything that you do, and then telling you about it, the only saving grace I had was I didn't think that he would ever actually hurt me, or at least not hurt me that bad. And I say that because he did hit me on quite a few occasions, and he would psychologically frighten me by making threats all the time, and he never went through with any of them, thank God. But with somebody like that who potentially is a bit unstable, you don't know what to expect. So I thought in the back of my mind, okay, I don't think he'd really hurt me or hurt anybody else, but it was very scary. It was very scary, and it definitely made it hard for me to date, because he'd just pop up at a date and then take me away forcibly. And the guys, I don't blame them. What are they going to do? They just met me. They didn't know me. I would want to stay out of that situation myself. But it was frightening. It was frightening. And I definitely would never have gone on YouTube, although it didn't exist then. But I never would have gone on YouTube and said, hi, hello, and blow him a kiss. There's no way. I mean, I thanked God finding out through mutual friends that he had moved out of the state that I live in, or that we did live in together, but he does not now. He got married, and he's got his own separate life, and that's all I needed to know. He's not going to be there anymore. But even to this day, many years later, I still sometimes feel that creepy feeling of somebody's watching me. And it affects you. It affects you. You know, sometimes I don't want to go out because I don't know who's waiting for me. And I know it's not him waiting for me, but in the back of your mind, you still wonder, could he? Or could it be someone else? Who knows? In this day and age, with so much crime running about and the police still doing nothing about it, really, they catch and release all the time, so the same criminals do the same crimes over and over again. It just feels unsafe, and I get very nervous about it. I have a lot of anxiety over it even today. And that's why I would never say, "Hi, how are you?" and blow a kiss. That's insane. Who does that? She obviously, I can't believe that she was ever really stalked. You know, maybe somebody watched her videos or stuff, maybe a cyber stalking, I don't know. But I can't believe that it really was a stalker, that she really had a stalker, because that's not how you act when you have a stalker. It is frightening. And she didn't show even resemblance of being nervous or scared or uncomfortable. It was very arrogant, the way that she made her moves. Very arrogant. And if you're being stalked, there's no room for arrogance, because you're frightened of the unknown. You don't know what this person can do to you. And it's a terrible thing to act so arrogant. What if somebody emulated that arrogance and then something terrible happened to them as a result? That's not what you do. You have to ignore them. You have to do everything you can to stay away from them. And if they come near you, you immediately call the authorities, and at least try to have something so that they can get arrested, so that they can get a warning, so they can get put away, so that they don't harm you. And I just, her arrogance, her just casualness about it really bothers me. It's really, that's not how you act. And that's not what you do when you've been stalked. It really isn't. And it's just another reason why she bothers me. She has so many lies upon lies. I don't even think she remembers her own lies, and she doesn't care to. She just doesn't care. The only person in her world is her. She is the main character. And we can say that about ourselves as well, because we are the main character in our own story. But she acts as if she's the main character for everyone. And I just don't like that. I just don't like how she portrayed that, because that's not what it is. It's really terrifying. And I just don't believe that she was ever stalked, because you just wouldn't have that kind of arrogance about it. Anyway, that's all I gotta say.